I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
When taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all of our lives are bound in shallows and misery. We are at that tide, and we must take it as it serves, or we shall lose our venture. On behalf of everybody in Northern Kentucky, the Tri-State, and America, I would like to personally thank the Tea Party and all of you for fighting for the American taxpayers, and I want you to take the tide of the Tea Party to take this country back. Herodotus was the first historian. He said, men do not make circumstances, circumstances make men. This Democratic administration has given circumstances that requires the Tea Party. Edmund Burke, the father of conservative thought, and you've all heard this one, oldie but goodie, all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing. And you are not doing nothing. On my radio show, I have developed a canned speech, which I usually lead off with, and you're going to get it with both barrels with a little bit of collateral stuff. And here it goes. Do you know what taxes is? Tax. You all know what a tax is. It's the government taking your money. And there isn't a single person here that doesn't mind paying a reasonable tax to support his local police department, his local fire department, his local school, his local county, his local state. You don't mind reasonable taxes, do you? But there comes a time when taxes become too much. And the founding fathers knew that. You look up on Wikipedia the word taxes. Look at them all. Sales tax, excise tax, property tax, income tax, local tax, telephone tax, insurance tax, property tax, state, federal, tax, tax, tax. You and I pay enough taxes, do we not? And let me tell you something else. You go on Wikipedia and put in federal agencies. Put in federal agencies. You're going to see more federal agencies than there's people at this rally. That's right. And if you look at those federal agencies, and the one that I've been using as an example, which I saw your good friend and mine, Glenn Beck, pound on last night, is the Department of Education. We don't need a National Department of Education. We need to let the Covington School Board, the King County School Board, the Covington Diocese educate our kids. We don't need a National Board of Education. Now let's examine the track record of our federal government. And I will say this, and I've said this publicly, I think one of the few agencies of the federal government in the shadows of our fine federal court is the federal court system. Other than the federal court system, and I think we all know that we need a Food and Drug Administration to make sure our food's safe, and we need a Security and Exchange Commission. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at what we need in this country. Just look at it. Did they succeed in managing your dollars and your grandparents' dollars in Social Security and Medicare? No. Have they been able to manage the post office? No. Have they been able to manage any federal agency at all? No. WLW sent me out to Tom Gill Chevrolet and Rocky Chevrolet during the Cash for Clunkers as part of that promotion. Do you know that Tom Gill told me, and the manager at Rocky told me, that they were waiting on months and months and months and still hadn't gotten but maybe 15% of the money they were supposed to get. If the federal government can't handle Cash for Clunkers, they can't handle health care. about the health care bill. Are you ready for 100 more agencies? Are you ready for the IRS to make sure? I own a restaurant. It's got over 50 employees. I'm famously for publicly saying it doesn't make any money. It would require me to pay health insurance for the employees or $100,000 in fines. Now I will tell you, as somebody that's on the radio station, and I'm a lawyer and I'm involved in this community just like you, you might be affected by this. You know people affected by this. We can't handle anymore. We can't handle more taxes. We can't handle more regulation. And let's examine that. The health care bill. This country is based upon 3 pillars. God, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and capitalism. I enjoy reminding everybody that George Washington not only had a temper, but George Washington added to the oath of office, "So help me God." We have "In God We Trust." We have in the Declaration of Independence our Creator. And they attack that in this country. Let's look at the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. They fear, as my favorite founding father Patrick Henry said, he smelled a rat when they passed the Constitution without the Bill of Rights. Aren't you glad that Patrick Henry fought for your right to bear arms, your right to worship, your right to assemble, your right to cross-examine your accusers? Can you imagine life without the Bill of Rights? Unbelievable. And let's talk about capitalism. Capitalism, George Washington had the largest whiskey distillery in the entire colonies. John Hancock was a merchant and a smuggler. Thomas Jefferson, businessman. Benjamin Franklin, you may not know this, was the first franchisor. His print shops were franchised all up and down the colonies. That's why he could go live in France and England. He had residual income for franchisees. They were capitalists. Did you know that Abraham Lincoln represented railroads? He made more money representing railroads than the little guy. And so what? So what? This country is about God, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and capitalism. And it is under assault. Now, who is it under assault by? Who's it under assault by? All right. Obama, the community organizer. Let's examine his past. Bill Ayers, Jeremiah Wright. And those of you that think this is old news, it's relevant. Because you and I are what we are from where we came. His godfather in the state senate, the daily political machine, Axelrod, the whole bit of it. And he gets a point. He wins the presidency because Oprah Winfrey endorsed him. He was behind 20 points till Oprah blessed him. And look what he does. He puts Peter Stern, socialist at least, communist maybe, ahead of the largest union in this country. He puts Van Jones, a known Marxist, ahead of creating green jobs. Anita Dunn, the communication director, she loves Mao Zedong. They are socialists. And you know what? When you get some heck from your neighbors or somebody and they say, "You're a bunch of angry people," you say, "Hell yeah, we're angry,"